That night, the apartment felt like a quiet war room. I sat at the kitchen table under the warm lamp, laptop open, documents spread around me like a map of a fight I never asked for. The uniform was off, but my mind was still on the floor, replaying every glance, every word. I opened the folder, Derek Receipts. It had grown. Schedules, pay stubs, bank discrepancies, HR notes, Derek's threat, each file heavier than the last. I began organizing with purpose. Subfolders, schedules, payroll, bank deposits, HR conversations, texts and threats, system edits. Every file placed carefully, methodical, controlled. The spreadsheet expanded. New columns, date of concern, date of retaliation, evidence added. The pattern was clear. Hour cuts followed questions. Edits appeared after conversations. Missing money aligned with every pushback. I leaned back, exhaling slowly. Fear was still there, but now it shared space with something steadier. Strategy. My phone buzzed. Talia. Derek was asking who talked to HR. Be careful, he's watching the cameras. I froze, reading it again. Not just cutting hours, watching, monitoring. I replied carefully. Understood. Documenting everything quietly. Screenshot. Save. Another receipt. The room felt smaller for a moment. Cameras suddenly everywhere in my mind. Every break, every glance, recorded. But instead of panic, resolve settled in. If he was watching, I would be smarter. I created new rules. Sensitive notes only at home or locked in the restroom. Screenshots fast. Notes factual, no emotion, just dates, quotes, proof. I practiced my neutral face in the mirror. Calm, professional, unreadable. The cloud backup chimed. I checked it twice. Password protected, two-factor enabled. If Derek could edit systems, mine would be untouchable. I rubbed my eyes, exhaustion creeping in, but something else held stronger. Focus. He thinks he's isolating me, I whispered. He's teaching me how to build the case. The scared version of me was still there, the one by the fridge, small, humiliated. But she wasn't alone anymore. A sharper version had stepped forward, one that organized instead of froze, one that saved everything. I stood at the window. The city lights stretched below. Somewhere out there, probably, Derek thought his plan was working, that I would quit or break quietly. He had no idea I was awake, building something stronger. Back at the table, I typed a new heading, Receipts, Evidence System. It wasn't just pain anymore. It was strategy. The upload completed. I double-checked everything again. Schedules, payroll, HR notes, texts, surveillance warning. I created a new folder, Surveillance Notes, logged Talia's message word for word. The paranoia was real now. Cameras, questions, silent observation. My shoulders tightened. I closed my eyes and breathed slowly. In for 4, hold. Out for 6. Fear didn't disappear, but it didn't control the room anymore. Strategy did. I saved Talia's thread. Another entry, another piece. I paced the kitchen, bare feet cool against the floor. The financial pressure still pressed against me. Rent, low balance. But it felt different now. Not a weight. Fuel. Back at the table, I added a column, Surveillance Mentioned. Cross-referenced everything. The pattern tightened. Every time I questioned, retaliation escalated. Not random, calculated. And now I was calculating back. I practiced the neutral expression again. Calm eyes, relaxed posture, invisible on the surface. The scared version of me was still there, but she wasn't running this anymore. A methodical version had taken over. I created a checklist. Document every schedule change, save all pay communication, note surveillance mentions, back up nightly, stay calm on the floor, rules for survival, and eventually, justice. The next morning, I stood in front of the mirror tying my hair back, tired but steady. Stay calm on the surface, whispered. Document everything underneath. I walked into the restaurant. The smells were familiar, the air wasn't. Every camera felt like eyes. Every glance from Derek carried weight. I clocked in, started work normally, 2 tracks running in my mind, one doing the job, one watching everything. From across the floor, Derek moved confidently, laughing, controlled. I noted everything: time, posture, position near cameras. During a lull, I slipped into the restroom, locked the door. Quick screenshot, new schedule cut. Note, post-HR edit, no explanation. Saved. Back on the floor, I worked, but I wasn't no longer passive. I was collecting. Talia caught my eye. A small nod. I returned it, neutral. No words, no trace. The shift moved in that rhythm, surface normal, underneath strategic. By the time I clocked out, I was exhausted but clear. In my car, I opened the folder again. Derek receipts. It had grown. I added the new evidence, saved everything, backed it up. The fear from before was still there, but it no longer led. "He thinks he's pushing me out," I whispered. "He's giving me the map." The folder wasn't pain anymore. It was armor. I drove home already planning the next layer. More backups, more notes, more control. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was preparing. That night, I reviewed everything again. The pattern tightened with every entry. Saved, backed up, locked in. The apartment felt quieter now, not because the threat was gone, but because something stronger had grown beside it. The scared woman was still there, but now she had receipts, and the woman she was becoming had a plan. I closed the laptop, turned off the lamp. Tomorrow I would return. Work, watch, document. And slowly, the balance of power was shifting from the man controlling the schedule to the woman controlling the truth.